Hello and welcome to the For the Region podcast in the run-up to the Green Economy Conference, which, as you know, is taking place on the 22nd of November in Swansea Arena. I'm really delighted today to be talking to our headline sponsor, and that's the CEIC programme based out of Swansea University. I'm delighted to be sitting down with Gary Walpole from CEIC. CEIC, of course, stands for Circular Economy Innovation Communities. Welcome, Gary. Thanks so much for being our headline sponsor and for talking to me today.
You're welcome. It's great to be here, Dawn.
So we are really excited to be partnering with CEIC. It's an exciting time for you. I think you're about to be rolling out some new cohorts that people can get involved with and start developing new circular economy innovations. But start off by just telling us a little bit about the CEIC project. Where has it come from? What has it achieved so far?
Circular Economy Innovation Community was designed to be a community. What we've done over the last 3 years with ESF funding, that's European Social Fund via WEFO, Welsh European Funding Office, we've been able to create 190 or develop 190 people across South Wales. That's in the Cardiff Capital and Swansea Bay region. We ran 14 cohorts, so 7 in the west and 7 in the east. And those cohorts were made up of public and third sector practitioners, professionals that had an interest in circular economy and wanted to make a difference in their organization and across the region. And so we set up what we described as inter-organizational communities of practice. And obviously that's where the C comes from in CEIC, those communities. And they worked in small groups to solve challenges or problems that they're aware of in their organization, or take opportunities to implement circular economy principles to reduce carbon footprint of their organizations. So one great little example that we've recently shot a little video clip to outline and explain is the wool insulation project that Carmarthenshire County Council developed. And what they've done there is contracted with Wool Insulation Wales, who are taking sheep's wool, which doesn't have a huge economic value in today's global textile market, but obviously it's a very excellent insulator. So they've created loft insulation or roof insulation from sheep's wool, and that is going into the Carmarthenshire County Council debating chamber in the next couple of months. So an excellent example there of using regional resources to develop a product more cheaply than traditional insulation, and then use that to reduce the energy costs of Carmarthenshire Council. So that little project, I think, gives an example of what we are trying to do with CEIC. We've had over 30 projects of different kinds from the small groups that took part in the programme. And all of the projects were looking to reduce the carbon footprint of their organisations or in some way enhance biodiversity.
Definitely the sorts of things we'd love to see more of happening across our region, making use of our amazing natural resources and creating value from otherwise waste products, and whilst also creating jobs and economic opportunities. I think that's what I love about circular economy principles, is that holistic approach, and that's a great example. So I like the fact that CEIC works on a kind of cohort model. So you bring together practitioners or people from different organizations to share their challenges, which feels very aligned with our values at For the Region, which are all about collaboration and empowerment. So do you find that people are able to access new levels of innovation and creative thinking when you get them out of their day job and talking to different people?
Absolutely. And they very much embraced the idea of regional working. And the groups, we deliberately did that. We mixed groups from different organizations to work on the same challenge. And that diversity of thinking that you get from people from different organizations, often in different roles. So we had everyone from accountants, procurement, operations, strategy, all working on the same challenge. And those multiple perspectives make for developing a much more robust solution. Of course, the program introduced them to an innovation framework. So we use the design thinking framework sometimes referred to as the UX model or human-centered design. So they all had a common framework to work to. And that framework enables them to go through a phased innovation approach that encourages rapid iterations, rapid prototyping, and developing what we describe as a test and learn approach. So as you know, innovation is not straightforward, and we give them the tools and techniques to manage that iterative innovation process. And there's been some great projects. We've had different themed cohorts. So one of the stars of the show in our Swansea conference earlier in the year was the EduCake cohort. We asked each of the cohorts to name themselves, and it wouldn't surprise you to hear that it was a group of teachers and people from further education came together to work on various challenges that related to the education sector. So they named themselves EduCake, and they did some absolutely amazing things with the children in the school. So they took those circular economy principles, encouraged the children to understand them a bit better, and then invited the children to engage and develop solutions. So some great work there. Escol Penrose in Swansea, they created a swap shop, so all the children brought their toys in and swapped toys, obviously then reducing the need to go out and buy new. They also got new toys. They had clothes that they brought in, so the parents came with the clothes that weren't that hugely used on the children in previous years. Obviously, we know quickly children grow, so there was a clothes swap there. That they developed a little garden, so they're planting. So all of the principles that fit within a circular economy, but as you quite rightly point out, also help develop the community and retain value in the community, were evident across that cohort. Escol Brobano had similar projects, so it was really heartening, and we've got some video footage from the conference. And I'll send you a link to that, and you can put it on the website, and you'll see the inspiration that the children provided to the conference.
So CEIC is moving into a new phase now. I think funding coming through Shared Prosperity Fund money from different local authorities around Wales. I'm sure that's not without its headaches, but I think that is opening up this way of working to the private sector, so businesses can start to get involved. Is that right?
Yes, we're evolving, we're developing. So as you know, the European money comes to an end at the end of this year. So we're bringing the current CEIC project to or the current version we've got that supported public and third sector organisations to an end. However, we've been very fortunate. Welsh Government have helped us for the bridging period. So at the moment, we're able to offer 2 innovation programmes, one in Cardiff, one in Swansea, again, maintaining that CEIC presence across South Wales. So it's an innovation programme, that one that's open to businesses and third sector. So we're evolving slightly to be able to bring businesses into that CEIC ecosystem, and they can go through the similar learning process as the CEIC participants. Again, we'll use that design thinking approach, enable them to understand or more fully understand circular economy principles. And on that one, actually, we're working with the Welsh Government Flexible Innovation Support Team, and they've got funds that can directly support businesses to develop new products or new services that have circular economy principles embedded. So we'll help the businesses fully understand circular economy. We'll give them that innovation framework, and we'll support them to develop an innovation plan that they could then present to Welsh Government for funding beyond our programme. And it's a relatively short programme, 6 months. We are currently recruiting in both Cardiff and Swansea. But for those of you in the Swansea region, our first workshop where we start in earnest, the 2-day residential, where we engage people in all the challenges of innovation, is on the 14th and 15th of November. So excellent opportunity there for businesses to develop their innovation skills and more fully understand the opportunities that the circular economy presents to businesses.
I mean, we just need so much innovation, don't we, to move away from these like business as usual, these old ways of working, which have created the sort of mess we're in environmentally.
Yes, my drivers, certainly over the last 3 years and before that, my innovation research was focused on circular economy challenges. As you know, I was previously director of the ION program, so being in the business development, business growth, I suppose, area for a couple of decades now. But the last 3 years, we've been focused on circular economy innovation. And that's basically helping organizations understand the principles, which basically means that you keep products and the materials within products in circulation for as long as possible. And hence, the circular aspect. Previously, or currently actually, we're pretty much locked into what's been the take, make, discard sort of paradigm. We mine things, make some products from them, and then discard them. But obviously, that's not only damage the planet in terms of the amount of greenhouse gas that you create when you manufacture anything, but also the biodiversity issues. We've lost about 70% of our species in the UK alone since 1970. And a lot of that is due to the amount of industrial concentration. So we're not only mining an awful lot of materials and minerals from the ground, but in discarding them, in allowing waste to go into rivers, into our seas, into our water plains, that is having a deep and damaging impact on our wildlife and our biodiversity. So yeah, passionate about helping businesses understand that we need to keep resources in circulation as long as possible so that we can avert some of the climate issues and real climate challenges that we've experienced across the world this year. Less so in the UK, albeit I was out over in the West Country a few weeks ago and there were flash floods in Minehead. And we know the issues that the floods and fires have caused in other parts of Europe this year, with multiple deaths in Italy. So we do have to transition to that circular economy. And I think businesses are keen to do that. It's about helping them develop a fuller understanding and seeing how their business can evolve to become part of the circular economy.
And part of that greener economy that we're hoping to champion on the 22nd of November. I know that legislation is coming in to affect the way that businesses deal with their waste. They're going to have to separate their recyclables. And it just seems to me that there's so much opportunity in these waste streams, and often I'm corrected that waste is a verb, not a noun. But yeah, what we do with all the value that is typically thrown away, I feel like there are huge opportunities to create much better infrastructure across our region. Like construction waste is one of those things that people throw away from building sites, whether that's in demolition of buildings or just on building projects where there are surplus materials. Couldn't we have a warehouse where those are reused and given new lease of life? Electronic waste seems to me a huge problem and a big opportunity area. We all must have old laptops and mobile phones gathering dust, which we just don't know what to do with. How could we extract value from those and learn the skills to keep those sorts of things in circulation for longer? And as I was on my morning walk this morning, I saw a whole load of mattresses just dumped in a back lane here where I live in Swansea. And I thought, well, it's just huge material loss here that surely there are great things we could do with this. And my passion is our regional economy and creating regional resilience. So the more we throw away, the value of that is just lost from our local economies and our communities, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we have to stop thinking waste or assuming there's waste. Talk to the engineers and the designers, and some will say waste is just poor design. We've allowed ourselves to design products that can't be taken apart easily, don't last that long, and so we then discard them after a short period. The way to think is there are byproducts, and if we start thinking every product that's created has byproducts, and those byproducts can be used in different ways, that's the way to think about it. You point at waste electronic equipment, or we. If laptops and all electronic devices were easy to take apart, we could quite quickly and easily reuse the elements that are within it. There's an awful lot of precious metals within all kinds of, well, all electronic equipment, copper, gold, brass, titanium. The Royal Mint in Lantricent have recently opened a waste recycling plant, or a WEEE plant, and they're taking the gold, amongst other things, and they're creating jewelry from that and special commemorative coins. So we do need to start thinking byproduct and not waste, and ensure that those materials are kept in that loop as long as possible. As you point out, also there's exciting projects like the Bright Sparks internationally, where they're going to look to create a circular town, and that's the kind of model we need to think about. The circular economy, the green economy, is about regional rethinking, reducing, reusing, repairing, refurbishing, remanufacturing existing products that we've got in our current system. I mean, no business any longer would go out and buy a photocopier. They're leased. If we move to that kind of leased way of thinking, then the business that's providing that photocopier, they're more inclined to develop a product that's easier to repair, so they can send their engineers out, easier to replace parts, and built to last longer. Because why wouldn't you want to sell a contract for a copier to go into a business for 3, 5, or 10 years, rather than sell one machine that you have to go back and maybe try and sell another machine to them in a couple of years? So, that's a big element of it, is thinking about the longevity of products and designing that longevity in, so they can be repaired and remanufactured within the region.
We are really looking forward to hosting you as part of the discussions at the Green Economy Conference on the 22nd of November. Can you say a few words about why you're supporting the conference and the exhibition, and what people can come and talk to you about on the day?
Absolutely. We think the Green Economy Conference is an excellent initiative. What we did as part of CEIC was bring people together. We created what we describe as a regional circular economy ecosystem. As I mentioned, 190 people took part from 80 different organizations. And the real value in getting people to engage with each other is that you create that knowledge network, so people are aware of, oh, I see this, you've got the Llanelli reuse and circular economy project. Okay, well, I could work with that. As an example, Come Environmental, who were in Nantucket House, who manage most of the waste for Carmarthen County, or the whole Carmarthen region. They've developed a facility there where they're now repairing some electronic devices, equipment, laptops. They're repairing bikes and white goods, all to offer back to the community as refurbished goods. So unless you have people coming together and understanding what's available across the region, and as well developing the skill sets that are required to repair and repurpose goods, then you can't take advantage of the opportunities that the green economy presents. The EU would invest in close to 1 billion in the green economy, as they describe it, up over the next decade. And their published reports suggest that the value of the green transition, the green economy to Europe, is 1 trillion euros across the next decade. So there's huge opportunity once we start to think in that slightly different way, in that how can we reuse, repurpose, remanufacture, but obviously initially repair. Let's keep goods in circulation as long as possible. Let's ensure that we have mechanisms like the great little example of the children's swap shop, and get children engaged. But unless we come together and hear of some of the inspiring little projects that are going on, and the wider initiatives like Come Environmental and what they're doing with repurposing waste, then we can't transition as quickly as we'd like to.
It's all about that, isn't it? Those regional relationships, shining a light on the great stuff that is already happening across South West Wales, and hopefully inspiring a lot more to happen, building those connections between businesses, communities and organisations, learning from each other, and yeah, getting inspired about the possibilities for all of us. Thank you so much, Gary, for talking to me. We'll look forward to seeing you in November, and wish you all the best with the next cohort, and any businesses looking to take advantage of this opportunity to upskill and learn about circular economy frameworks and how you can apply those in your own businesses. Please do reach out to Gary and the team at CEIC. That's all for now. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dawn.